Good evening, ma'am. My name is Mernella Baluyot from BSCA 3A. My report is Report on Findings on the Dumping Protest Against the Importation of Hot-Rolled Steel Coils or Sheets from Russia. Anti-Dumping Investigation Number 99-02. The anti-dumping protest against the importation of hot-rolled steel coils or HRC and sheets from the Commonwealth of Independent States or Russia was filed with the Department of Finance by National Steel Corporation or NSC on September 23, 1998. The company alleged that the said products were imported at dump prices and were causing material injury to the domestic industry. So, yung nag-filed nga ng anti-dumping protest is yung National Steel Corporation. Sabi ng National Steel Corporation na yung product na hot-rolled steel coils na in-import from Russia is at dump prices at nagkakos ng material injury sa domestic industry sa Pilipinas. The Notice of Initiation of Investigation was published in the Philippine Daily Inquirer and Philippine Star on February 27, 1999. On June 7, 1999, a motion of reconsideration on the affirmative findings of dumping and application of provisional measures against HRC from Russia was filed by the protestees. So, may 7 na company ang nagprotest laban sa Russia. It was namely Mayer Steel Corporation, MKK Steel Corporation, Supreme Steel Pipe Corporation, Novolipest Iron and Steel Corporation, Magnitogorsk Iron Steel Works, and Open Joint Stock Company, Severstal, through their counsel, Ocenero, Margate, and Mogpo. Nag-file sila ng protest dahil sa product na hot steel coil na same sa product nila at nag-cause sa kanila ng material injury and dump prices. Ito yung itsura ng hot-rolled steel coils or sheets na kadalasang ginagamit sa railroad or constructions. Next, the preliminary investigation indicated an affirmative findings of the necessary elements of dumping. On August 4, 1999, the DTI-BIS issued a resolution lifting the order holding in abeyance the affirmative preliminary findings on the anti-dumping case against the importation of HRC from Russia. However, the imposition of anti-dumping ban was suspended until such time that NSC's hot mill production capacity is at level when the case was filed in September 1998. So, nag-protest yung NSC nung mga panahong nasa yung mababa yung level ng kanilang hot mill production. And nasuspend yung protest na yun laban sa Russia. On June 4, 1999, an affirmative preliminary finding was made by the Bureau of Import Services imposing an anti-dumping bound ranging from $5.90 per metric ton to $80.5 per metric ton. The DTI-BIS adopted $255 per metric ton as the appropriate normal value for the purpose of the preliminary investigation. The normal value adopted is based on the price range of $255 to $280 per metric ton, specified in the anti-dumping agreement between the U.S. Department of Commerce and the Minister of Trade of the Russian Federation, issued on February 22, 1999. Next slide is the elements of dumping. First is like product, dumping margin, material injury, and causal link. So when we say like product, yung product na in-import ng Pilipinas galing Russia is may similarities or similar talaga from the domestic product. Yung dumping margin naman is yung price differences ng imported products sa domestic product natin sa Pilipinas. And the material injury, ito yung nagkakos na nangyayari sa mga product or mismong sa company ng Philippines kapag may mga dump products na napapasok sa Pilipinas. So sa causal link naman, kapag nagsuffer yung domestic industry ng material injury, nag-result ito ng importation of dump product. Next slide is export price. Export prices were adjusted to exports level. Net of ocean freight, insurance, inland freight and shipments, services, customs clearance, traders compensation and profit, if any. Adjustments made on export price to arrive at export level vary depending upon the manufacturer and port of origin. So, ito yung basehan nila kung ba't nila nasabi na yung product is at dump price. Next is on negligible volume of dump import. The volume of dump imports at 27% of total HRC imports from Russia during the POI is not negligible. Negligible. So, ibig sabihin yung 27% na nakita na volume ng dump imports is hindi binabaliwala. Dahil marami nang magkukos ng problem sa domestic industry. Lalo na sa mga pareho nitong product. On determination of material injury and causal linkage, meron ditong volume of dump import, price effect, market share, production, sale, and inventory, cost of production, capacity utilization, cash flow, and investment and ability to raise capital. So volume of dump imports. In determining the volume of dump imports, NSO Statistics 1998 HRC import entries on file with the Commission and entries forwarded by the Bureau of Import Services were used. NSO statistics show total HRC imports within the POI at 340,308 metric ton, of which 136,000 metric ton originated from Russia. However, available import entries accounted for only 116,273 MT of HRC importation from Russia. Based on the latter, the volume of dump import was estimated at 90,500 MT or 27% of total HRC imports. Despite the possibility of being undervalued, the 27% share of dump import is total to not negligible. So, sa total nga ng 27% share ng dump import sa Pilipinas, marami nang maapektuhan at hindi dapat binabaliwala kasi maraming mga industry ang maapektuhan at masisira ang kanilang business. So next is price effect. The incidence of or extent of price undercutting was estimated using the landed cost of dump HRC from Russia against the average ex-factory domestic selling price of local HRC. So para makita yung price effect, chine-check yung normal value or dito sa Pilipinas at sa landed cost ng dump HRC. Dump HRC undercut domestic products only in the first quarter of 1998 at 10.80% and resulted in almost equal shares of domestic sales and dump imports to the total domestic consumption. There were no dump import recorded in the fourth quarter. Price depression occurred in the fourth quarter of 1998, but this cannot be attributed to dumping because no imports of dump HRC were recorded in that period. So, sa fourth quarter nga ng business ng NSC, hindi pa na-record to na may dump products na ang HRC. So, the price suppression was apparently in the second and third quarters. NSC's average selling price in the second quarter fell despite an increase in production costs. In the third quarter, average selling price contracted by a larger margin than that in production costs. The pressure of NSC to reduce prices in this quarter was evident as landed costs of dump imports were about 10.34% lower than the company's production costs. So, yung price suppression is pinaprevent ng domestic producer from increasing the selling price. Next is the market share. So, sa market share, total market contracted by an average of 25% from 1996 to 1998, while domestic sales of NSC decreased by an average of 30% in the same period. Total imports declined by an average of 24% for imports specifically from Russia. The contraction was even greater at an average of 35%. Sa production, sale, and inventory naman, volume of production declined from 7,900,000 MT in 1996 to 693,000 MT in 1997 and to 336,000 MT in 1998. The inventory level for HRC is in 1997 reached 124,000 MT, or 10% higher than the 1996 level of 112,000 MT in 1998. However, inventory level decreased by 63.71% to 45,000 MT. Next is the cost of production. In cost of production, the cost to produce and sell a metric ton of HRC was 26% higher in 1998 than in 1997. This was attributed to a 24.40% increase in the peso price conversion of slab and low capacity utilization. This resulted in an increase in indirect material costs by 29.9% and in fixed costs by 102.70%. Capacity utilization. Declining production resulted in contracting capacity utilization. NSC's hot mill has an annual rated capacity of 1 million metric ton. The company's capacity utilization fell by an average of 76% from 793,000 metric ton in 1996 to 690% metric ton in 1997 and to 336,000 metric ton in 1998. Several months of suspended operation in 1998 resulting from deficit working capital contributed to decline in capacity utilization. Sa cash flow naman, NSC was unable to generate funds from HRC operates in 1996 to 1998 because it sold below cost. Payments of huge interest expense exacerbated the negative cash position. Thus, NSC had to depend largely on borrowing and restructuring restructuring to fund its accountabilities. Investment and ability to raise capital. NSC's inability to generate investment and raise capital is traced to the fact that the company was saddled with enormous debt, high interest costs, foreign exchange losses, and high operating costs. So yung NSC nga is hindi na siya nag-gain ng profit. Mas marami na siyang mga borrowings to fund its accountabilities and hindi na nag-raise yung capital nila. The next slide is the application of procedural matters under Republic Act 8752 or the Anti-Dumping Act of 1999. On August 12, 1999, Republic Act 8552 was signed by the President amending Section 301 of TCCP. The new law became effective on September 4, 1999, after 15 days following its publication on August 9, 1999 in Malaya and Philippine in the Standard. Procedural provisions of Republic Act 8752 are applicable to the instant anti-dumping case in Republic versus Court of Appeals GR number 92326 January 24, 1992. Ito yung sinabi ng korte laban sa kaso ng HRC. Procedural matters are governed by the law enforced when they arise, and procedural statutes are generally retroactive in that they apply to pending proceedings and are not confined to those begun after enactment, although with respect to such pending proceeding, they affect on the procedural steps taken their enactment. On the other issue from the NSC dahil sa pagbaba ng kanilang capital is the employment and wages. The total manpower complement in HRC operations number 233 in 1998 as against 274 in 1996. Dumping did not cause the retrenchment of 41 employees from HRC operation in 1998. It was management solution to address the problem of overstaffing. So nag-less sila ng employees kasi nga may problema nila sa overstaffing. Kaya nabawasan hindi dahil sa kaso ng dumping na this is the final determination. The Commission finds that price differences existed between the normal values and export prices of HRC originating in or exported from the Russian in the first, second, and third quarters of 1998. No dump imports were recorded in the fourth quarter, hence no price difference in the same quarter. So, ibig sabihin, walang price difference sa same quarter na yun. Hindi, sa kaso ng price difference, hindi siya naging or nag-result ng dump. Number 2, dumping per se of HRC from Russia during the POI did not cause material into the domestic industry but a host of factors other than dumping. Competition from normal import transfer of HRC production for its own cold mill captive production, market contraction, high cost to produce, foreign exchange losses, high interest on its loan obligation, and difficulty in opening letter of credit for its raw material led to the overall impairment of the financial position of the company. So yun nga, hindi dahil sa HRC from Russia yung naging result ng pagkalugi ng company ng NSC, kundi dahil sa mga market contraction, high cost to produce, foreign exchange losses, high interest in its loan obligation, and difficulty opening letter of credit. So, yun yung naging dahilan ng naging overall impairment of the financial position of the company. In view of foregoing, the element of material injury resulting from dumped imports from Russia during the POI not having been established, it is hereby ordered that the anti-dumping case against Russia is dismissed for lack of merit. So, na-dump yung protest against Russia kasi walang evidence na nagpapakita na yung mga products galing Russia or mga imported na hot rolled steel coil or sheets is dump products. Iba yung naging cost ng NSC sa pagkalugi nila or impairment of their company. So the conclusion of this protest is because of the high cost to produce, financial performance, foreign currency losses. Sa high cost to produce, the cost to produce HRC was relatively higher than its imported counterpart because NSC had to import its lab requirements. So yun nga, mataas yung cost ng pag-produce ng kanilang mga materials or the product. Mas malaki yung cost ng pag-import nila. So sa financial performance naman, the slowdown in the Philippine economy had significantly affected the company in terms of higher financing costs and reduced sales and production volume. NSC's total operation in 1998 incurred its biggest deficit prior to the shutdown of its operation in November 1999. So yung NSC is nagkaroon siya ng deficit kaya nag-shutdown yung operation nila noong November 1999. It's not because of the dumped products from Russia na sinasabi ng NSC. In foreign currency losses, as of December 31, 1997, the company had total foreign currency losses of 2.5 billion, which went down to 159.9 million in 1998. To the 1998 figure is much lower. The high cost of money for the servicing of NSC's dollar-denominated loans as a result of the peso devaluation had major adverse impact on the company's financial position. So, bumaba yung halaga ng peso. Kaya lumaki yung currency losses ng NSC. So, the overall case ng pagprotest ng NSC laban sa HRC from Russia was suspended because walang evidence against the NHR na nagpapakita na yung product nila is dump products. It is because only the company itself, yung problem nila from the loans and financial cost of production and the currency losses. And that's all. Thank you for listening.